the Tall Girl Tuesday podcast. It's your girl, Danie. And on this week's episode, I have two lovely ladies of Gumbo Therapy Podcast. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really happy for you guys to be here.
Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. So tell us about your platform. Tell us about yourselves and your podcast.
Domino, look. I can't say we're Gumbo Therapy. We've been around for about a year. We're best friends. We've been best friends for about 10 years. She's from New Orleans. I'm from Ohio originally, but we live in Alabama now. And really how it came about is that we've always felt like we've had these great conversations, and we felt like also we're just so different. I'm newly divorced and she's been married almost 11 years. So not only are we from different places, but we have definitely different perspectives on relationships. And we definitely always disagree, but for some reason we still work. So the gumbo of the Gumbo Therapy is pretty much, if you've ever had gumbo, it's lots of different ingredients that by themselves are kind of like, but together they work together. So that's the gumbo. And therapy, to me, our podcasting is almost like our therapy. Within the year, I think our friendship has definitely grown stronger just through the podcast because we have learned to talk about our differences, but also work through them. So that's really what it is, we have fun. Sometimes we don't feel like doing it because we get tired. We're also, parents and we have full-time jobs, but, we love it. We love the friends we've made. We love the camaraderie between all the podcasters. We're hoping to meet everybody soon, so we're having fun, but thanks so much again for inviting us on.
Absolutely. I love your guys' platform. I listen every time I can, every time there's something new. Now, I know you guys are best friends, but how did you actually meet each other?
Who Domino, you tell this story or me?
Tammy loves to tell his story. Even though she took all the shine away, but we're gonna go ahead and let her tell a story because she does it so well.
Okay, well, I'm muting myself. I actually met her husband before I met her. My ex-husband and her husband are best friends. They grew up together. So I met her husband in the delivery room having my middle child.
Wow.
So that's how we became friends. Through my divorce, our friendship was challenged because, people are going to pick sides.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily her, but, the friends.
Mm-hmm.
So but through that, we've worked that out and we're still friends, That's friends, through the men.
That's dope to be able to push through that and remain friends.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but actually it's so funny. I'm turning 40 this year and we became friends around my 30th.
10 years.
Yeah, so we have pictures we're gonna put on the Gumbo page of us, hanging out on my 30th birthday. We made it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we made it.
That's amazing. Friendships don't last that long. I actually heard you guys talk about that on your most recent episode too. That's dope.
I don't know how, because we definitely have very, very, very strong personalities. So a lot of times we have to fall back. Like, we ain't gonna push through the door together. One of us gonna have to fall back because we otherwise we're gonna be like this.
Right.
It's worked out so far.
Nice. Now, one thing that I noticed when your platform and my platform became friends on social media is your logo. Now, I'm a cigar smoker. So when I saw that logo, I said, oh my God, I have to ask them about cigars. Like, do you guys actually smoke them? Was it more like for the photo op, or tell me about that?
We enjoy smoking them. I think we've been smoking cigars for about, I want to say a year, maybe. about a year. Because at first we would smoke hookah or something like that, but cigars has just become the favorite, and we like the flavored cigars.
I was gonna ask, what's your favorite type?
I love any flavored one, so it doesn't. I like that, but Tammy, you go ahead.
I actually started smoking because the guy I was dating used to smoke them, so he kind of got me into them. I tried to smoke like the thick ones and the strong ones, and they used to make me super nauseous. So now I have to just chill, do like the little baby ones, like the little skinny flavored ones. But I did learn a tip is that if while you're smoking, if you feel like you're getting nauseous, you should take some sugar, eat some sugar, and that kind of helped like the nausea. Because I've had time where I felt like I was like high, like super high.
That's because she's smoking it. She be
and inhale it.
And she's not supposed to inhale it like that. It's a chill. So you're supposed to like puff, blow it out. She be trying to swallow the smoke and have it come out her nose. And she be doing too much. But I don't mind. It doesn't matter with if it's the thick ones or just the flavored ones. But with her, we both like the flavored ones, but I can do either one.
Nice. I like the flavored ones too. I like mild cigars, and I'm more like the flavored one too. I like a mild. And so what do you guys normally pair with the cigar in terms of drinking? Because I'm a whiskey girl.
We used to drink Hennessy. We were heavy Hennessy drinkers, and we realized we ain't about that life. So now we do Tito's. We'll do shots of Tito's, and we'll sit on her back porch. She has a really great back porch, and we'll vibe out for hours, smoking cigars and just drinking.
I love it.
Yes.
Nice. Tito's I can't get with because that Tito's do me in. But I'm a whiskey girl, yeah.
Whiskey, really?
Yeah.
Why whiskey?
I just love whiskey. I love Jack Daniels. I love it. Jameson.
I mean, I feel it. I like browns, but browns make you clown. So I can't do brown no more.
Okay. Got it.
You don't know if you're gonna fight, you don't know if you're gonna fuck, you don't know what you're gonna do on that brown. So that Tito's, I'm chill, I'm cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Tito's is good. I like it because it keeps me mellow and I'm not sick. I don't get sick afterwards. Okay. But I enjoy Crown. I like what is this? Bamboo? Is it Bamboo?
I've got to try that. One of these YouTubers that I follow, she swears by that Bamboo.
It's so good. I love it.
On my list.
And I drink it. I usually drink all of mine straight, just with ice, or I might add just fruit to it. But just straight up, throwing it back.
You know what?
But Tito's is really, I like Tito's. Now I like Tito's.
That's gonna be my drink. That might be my drink this weekend.
The Tito's or the Bamboo?
No, the Bamboo. I'm a dark liquor. I don't even try to do light if I don't have to. Yeah. I'm gonna try the Bamboo. Mm-hmm. Now, I have an episode that actually just recently aired, and I was talking about some things in terms of dating. So I wanted to know if you guys, because I posted like a snippet of my episode, like a little headliner, and a guy commented because I said, at this age, while we're all adults, dating does not always mean that you're having sex with a person. So I wanted to know, what do you guys think? Do you think dating equates to sex every single time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And but I don't date. So that's me and Emily always talk about this. I'm not a dater. So she's always encourages me to, date, many, but that doesn't mean you have sex with them. For me,
right.
Because I'm a demisexual anyway, I can't date a lot of people. I don't gravitate towards people like that. So I can't date multiple people. So I'm only dating one. And if I'm dating you, I'm having sex with you, obviously.
Wow. Okay. I like that.
myself, I can't even conversate with more than one person because I don't be feeling you like that. Like, I don't know. But I'm definitely not an expert in dating.
I'm not either, but I don't think it necessarily means that you got to have sex. Like you can have people that you talk to and you try to get to know them, and if eventually if you're feeling him like that, then you can go there. But one person when you're single is stretching it because you don't really know how that's gonna go, and then you get your feelings hurt. Like your cousin, he was shook. That's your cousin, right? Aunt, is it Aunt? He was throwing it out there. Like I listened, I was like, damn, he right. He throwing it out there. He had a lot of knowledge, and it came from experience, though.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know that if you didn't have experience. But
Right.
I don't think that you have to have sex to date. You can just have people that you talk to.
I agree. Wow. Okay. I can see both sides of that. So that's amazing when you can kind of relate to both. But I've definitely dated guys I haven't had sex with. It's like, you ain't even it. You ain't it. So I ain't even gonna waste my time. But yeah, that's one that's always like a touchy subject for people. Always a touchy subject. Now, so Tammy,
Mm-hmm.
heard on an episode, you said you don't like sweat. Okay. So now, you mean in terms of like a sexual setting, or you don't like sweat on a man or yourself, period?
I don't like sweat. I hate it. Dominic knows I'm a scent person. I'm a touch person. I hate sweat. And me and her have had this discussion because she said, if you're not sweating, you're not doing anything. I agree. I beg to differ because I'm not going to be graphic or anything, but I know men who are putting it down and don't drop a sweat.
Really? Okay.
I think I'm a connoisseur of things, and I don't sweat. That's, it just depends on the person. Some people are natural sweaters. I don't like sweat. I fucking hate it. It grosses me out.
Wow.
So I don't think, it just depends on the person, some people sweat, some people don't. I don't sweat. I'm lying. As I gotten older, I started to sweat in my head. Mm-hmm. And I hate, if I could take a shot to not sweat, but don't be on top of me sweating, I will throw it up. I don't want their droplets on me. But no, don't sweat.
What about you? What do you think about that? And I'll give my opinion last.
Honestly, I'm like, sweat that shit out, because that means you putting in work. Like if you're sweating, you're doing something, whether it's sexually, whether you're in a gym. You can't expect your body to move in places and in all types of ways, and you talking about you not sweat. That's because you used to doing the same thing. So your body used to that. You ain't gonna sweat. But when you start to twisting and turning it down, doing all this, you reach it. Right. I'm sweating now. I'm sweating in my nose. Yeah. I'm sweating everywhere.
Got it. I agree. I love when a man sweats. I love it. And I mean, pour it all on me, like all of it. I love it. And it's funny because I just recently, I first talked about that when I was on Mind Triggers podcast. Shout out to Mind Triggers. And I forgot how it came up, but I was like, that's one of my things that I love is a sweaty man. Really? I mean, balls, everything, sweat it out.
Don't sweat, please.
Oh, yeah.
They was like, oh my God, like I would have never thought that about you. And I'm like, yes, please.
That's my kryptonite. If you sweat, I'm going to curl into a ball.
Wow.
But again, you got to put in work. I don't want you on me not doing nothing. Right. So I've been blessed to not have sweaters.
Okay.
God knows what he was doing.
I was just about to ask you. I'm like, okay, so I know you dating one person. So what if, you get to that point where you all are going to, and he don't sweat that first time. And then that second time, then what?
Well, I can't talk to you because unfortunately, all them niggas, you know these niggas. So I can't well, unfortunately, I've dated some of Domino's, friends.
Okay.
So, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Domino's husband, I've been at a couple of his friends. So I can't really be open with her because she knows these people personally. That's another one of our issues. So in future, we said this ain't gonna happen again. I can't talk to nobody, no more of these men.
Right.
It always goes left.
So sis, we get all the tea.
And she don't want to know anyway because she sees them. So she want to be like, she don't want to look at them and be like,
it's a little gross. Yeah. I can see that. So I get it. I understand. Now, one of my more popular episodes was where I was talking about being submissive in relationships. And I wanted to know what you guys think about that. What is your thoughts on a woman being submissive in a relationship?
You married one down there.
I've even been married for 10 years. Last year I had to put that on my vision board to be submissive.
Wow. Okay.
Because when I used to think of submissive, I used to think of, well, I have to do anything he said do. I got to do everything. And like now being submissive is not necessarily like that. It's just allowing your man to lead and you just follow and shut the fuck up, in a way, without making everything a confrontation, making everything like this. So I'm still working on that. However, since I've allowed that to happen, my relationship, it just goes better. When everything just goes, it just flows when you're submissive. So that's my take on that.
That's dope. Wow.
I believe in submissive, but I also believe in my partner has to provide that space where I feel comfortable enough to be submissive. Again, I've been in my marriage relationships where he ain't provide protection and support. So I was not submissive. Yes, I was asking you a million questions. Yes, I didn't listen to you. Yes, I did my own thing. But I've also been in situations where without him even saying something, he supported me and I knew I was good. So I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna say nothing. Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on their partner. Men don't realize that they are 50% of that. I'm not coming in here and being submissive to you and you ain't doing nothing. You ain't providing nothing. You ain't putting in no pound game. You ain't paying for nothing. No,
you ain't shit.
Right.
But if you're, if I feel comfortable with you, if I feel like you're supporting me, you're protecting me, you ain't gonna hear a peep out of me. I'm like,
you have to make the woman feel comfortable enough to realize that you can lead. You can lead us.
Yes.
I feel like naturally it kind of flows unless you just have a woman who's just combative. Then that's
right.
A different story.
I think men sometimes paint this, some men paint this picture of Black women that we don't want to be led. Yes, the fuck we do. We don't want to always run the ship. We don't always want to be dominant. We want to chill too. But you gotta allow, you have to provide a space.
Absolutely.
Where we gonna be comfortable enough for you to lead us.
I think that's important because I actually said that in one of my shows. I had an example where I was like running a group home. I was like going to school. I was doing a lot of stuff, like just being the boss. Okay. And I was like, the guy that I was with, I had to tell him, like, you know what? I just need you to be able to make some decisions because I'm the decision maker all day. I'm the one that's being dominant all day. I'm the one who's just bossing up all day. I want to come home and I want my spouse to say, this is what we're doing for dinner tonight, or this is what I want to eat tonight, or this is what we're doing tonight, just some type of initiative. And it's like, I wasn't getting it. And I'm like, I don't think this is going to be the type of guy that's going to be in for the long run.
Right. We get tired.
Right. I also think that, like Tammy said, like you have to be able to provide that type of space so I can relax. So like with my husband, it's also how they were raised. You know, he was his mom and dad is still together after 36, 37 years.
Wow.
And so the picture has been painted. So if he don't know how to do it, how the hell he gonna do it, right then and there? So men have to also realize that your children see you too.
Yeah.
So if you can't lead right now, how you gonna expect your boys or your daughter to want a man like their dad? You know what I'm saying? So my husband, I don't have no problem I take my wig off and chill any day, because I know he gonna make sure everything get done. Gotcha. So making sure that the man needs to make sure that you're providing that so we can chill.
That's amazing.
His upbringing was pretty much a big part of that, how he was raised, what he witnessed growing up. And I think sometimes if our men, your partner hasn't seen that, there may be some issues. He's going to have to work harder at being a leader.
Absolutely. Wow, that's a message right there. Wow. I like that. Those are some really good points there. So Tammy, I wanted to ask you. You said in your guys' most recent episode that you have issues communicating with men how you feel. That might not be verbatim how you said it, but that's kind of the premise of what you were saying. So I wanted to know, like, how does that affect your dating life and your?
Well, I don't date. That's one thing. I really don't date. I have always been a long-term monogamous person. So I've been engaged many times. I've had many rings. So I'm always usually with one person, then I'm with another person, then I'm with another person for years. Also, with my upbringing, I was taught to not be vulnerable or not be emotional. Wow. So I'm with these men for a long time, not really telling them how I feel or not communicating properly. I'm not going to say I'm mad. I'm just going to not say nothing. I'm going to be pissed for days. I definitely have communication pitfalls, and not even just my relationships, my friendships, and as a mother. I don't want you to know how I feel. If I tell you how I feel, you can hurt me. So I'm fucked up in that area, and I'm still learning. I don't know. I have to trust you enough with my feelings and my thoughts. And I also have issues, what's the word? Dating the right person. So it always mess up. So I'm already coming in dating the wrong person. And then when I finally tell you how I feel, it don't really go well because, they jacked up anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of, I'm all over the place. Okay. But one thing I would say is that I like for somebody to tell me they love me first. So that definitely opens the door. So, okay, now I'm good. Now you say you love me first. Okay, now I got you. Not necessarily I got you, but now I'm a little bit more, I can say how I feel now. Because you said that first, which is so childish. But it's life. It's life.
I understand that too. I used to have issues with that. I used to always be passive aggressive is what the term is. And then one day a guy, he really called me out on my stuff and was like, listen, you gotta open up and express yourself because it's not too many men who are going to continue to be patient enough to, give you that time to figure out if there's someone you want to be vulnerable with. And I was like, wow. And I have so much respect for him, and we've been friends ever since we dated for a while. But I was like, this is the type of person that's going to call me out on my stuff, and I hold people like that very near and dear to me because I'm like, you're right. Don, what do you think about that? Like, issues with any type of issues with being vulnerable.
Um, in a way, because I've always felt like I've needed to be independent and not need a man or anyone to do for me. And that's just how I grew up. So I had a hard time. I guess it's tying into like being submissive.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't express the need. I needed something or how I really felt. I kind of just wanted to just do it on my own and you just figure it out. But I realized a closed mouth don't get fed. Absolutely. Also, I realized your approach, how I deliver it, and what I said is how you say things, people are going to take it a certain way. So if you feeling jacked up, you can't be aggressive with it. You have to come off and, hey baby, I'm feeling such and such like this. That wasn't me for a long ass time. Mm-hmm. But I realized, if you don't talk, nope, how you gonna get past it? Mm-hmm. So
absolutely. And it's interesting that you say that because my cousin in the live that we just did, he kind of said the same thing. He was like, women sometimes, well, what I got from what he was saying was women sometimes think it's what you're saying, but it's the approach. Just like in terms of the whole "what are we" conversation. And he's like, you have to know your person and, read the room and read the situation and just make it comfortable. Make the conversation comfortable. And I was like, yeah, because then I think about most of the women that I know who've had that "what are we" conversation with men. It always go left because they're combative, aggressive, and all of those things. And men already are just shutting out. They don't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. So I actually like what you said because that actually makes a lot of sense.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. From the live, what mm-hmm. are your takes from that? Like, have you decided when you're going to have the "what are we" type of conversation?
Well, for me, that wasn't really pertaining to my situation.
Well, not you, but like when is the time, right? When is it? Because it's still not clear of when are you supposed to have that conversation of what are we? Because after a while, it's fun for a while, we just going. But mm-hmm. then when things get serious, okay, so now I need to introduce you to somebody. What the hell are we?
So for me, I think I've been lucky enough to not have to have that conversation because I pretty much communicate well and I feel like I know where I stand with a person. But if I feel like I get to that point, I'm going to find a way to do it. And I just know that based off of what my cousin was saying, that my approach has to be legit. So I don't end up like losing out on the whole thing if that wasn't the intention. Like I'm not going to like say it in a way that there's like an ultimatum or something like that. So he dropped some gems on me too. I was taking notes. I was definitely taking notes. But so I did want to know for Dyme, since you are the married one right now on this platform, what advice can you give women who are trying to like lock down the relationship with a guy who's ready, but you know what I'm saying, haven't necessarily took that leap yet? What would you tell them?
I think that you should not rush it. Mm-hmm. I think when you try to pressure a man into doing something, the outcome is going to always go left. I believe that communication is key. And allow it to grow. Like nobody's going to come in A1. Shit, I ain't going in my relationship A1. Actually, he helped me enhance myself. We enhance each other. So I think that when you're going into a relationship and you want to grow, you have to leave room for growth. You can't come in 100% because then what's left? What is else to do if you all both are 100% on your end? Also, individuality, like you can't expect him to make you happy, you have to come in at least happy. If you don't come in with money, at least come in happy. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't depend on my husband to make me happy. I have to make sure I have something that I do on my own. So my advice again would be to be willing to grow together in anything, financially, emotionally, spiritually, everything. So, and willing to sweat. You got to sweat. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tammy, did you want to weigh in on that?
Well, for me, the goal is not marriage because I've been married and marriage. So I kind of checked that off the list. Mm-hmm. For me, it's more of just having a happy and healthy relationship. So that's what I have, being a friend. My goal right now is to find someone who's my friend first and see what happens with that. I'm kind of at the point where if I'm with a man for 45 years and we're not married, as long as I'm on his life insurance policy, I am fine with that. Okay. So I'm not saying I don't want to ever be married again, but that's not the goal, because the goal before was to be married, and I was married, but I wasn't happy. So I just want to have a happy and healthy relationship. I think I should communicate my needs and wants early. I think in the past, I didn't do that. I kind of just rolled that shit out for years. And then years later, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Communicating my needs in the beginning, making sure we have the same goals in regards to relationships and friendships at the beginning. And also not making sure that you don't settle. I've settled in the past. I ain't gonna present, whatever. And that's never gonna go well. I'm not saying thinking that you're the shit, but I think we should all think we're the shit. We should all go into relationships and friendships knowing that we are giving our best and we have the best intentions, and don't settle. I mean, get what you want, girl. We are beautiful queens. If you want that man as a millionaire, hey, go for it. Go for it.
Wow. That's some very good insight and information to have. Thank you for that. Now, I did want to close off this with wondering, because we're all on this platform, Black women. And, I feel like Black women are held to a certain standard, even when we don't want to be. Now, I wanted to know, how do you guys handle a situation where it's a business type of relationship and the person is being unprofessional? Like, that happened to me recently within my podcast platform. And I was just like, wow, I figured at some point it would come, but I'm just wondering, like, if quickly we can talk about, like, how do you handle that and maintain who you are as a person and, not step out of character?
Can you give me a little bit more insight on what you mean by a professional?
So it was just like a business deal that was happening that fell through because that person was basically immature and unprofessional and a little petty and childish, if I'm being honest. And it's like, how do you keep your, not sanity, but just maintain who you are as a woman first, and a person who's representing a brand? How do you keep that,
Domino?
I think that you should know who you are first. You have to know who you are, and you have to protect your peace. And I think when things are not aligning with what you stand for, it should be easy to just move on, no matter how big the deal is, because at the end of the day, you're not going to feel good about it. So if you're able to just move on without stepping down to their level, you will feel better in the end, because what's going to happen is something bigger is going to come.
That's it.
So you definitely got to know what you stand for in order for you to know how to move. Because I'm always going to move left. If the shit ain't lining up, I know how to step to the left.
Good information. Kim, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'm still working on professionalism. In the past, I've always been a very emotional person, visually emotional, meaning, popping off, faces. So I've kind of do things within now, which is kind of like, unfortunate. So now I don't really react to things like I should. So I'm kind of battling internally. That's professionally and personally. So with me right now, if I'm doing something and somebody's unprofessional or just disrespectful, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to eat it. But I'm going to definitely, it's going to come out later.
Okay.
Which is not to my benefit. I'm still working on trying to figure out the right way to communicate and say how I feel professionally.
Okay.
I'm a work in progress.
Okay. Well, I did want to go ahead and thank you guys for coming on to this platform. I appreciate you ladies. I love your platform, love what you're doing. And tell the people how to find you and how to connect with you.
Okay, we're Gumbo Therapy on Instagram. We're Gumbo Therapy on Facebook and YouTube. Where else can they find us?
We have a YouTube that's in work in progress. We've been saying we're going to get it together. But for the most part, Instagram and Facebook is normally where we put a lot of content on. And we'll get our YouTube going eventually. But we're on all platforms. Anchor, we record through Anchor, but it's Apple Podcasts, those different things, Spotify. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. This is Gumbo Therapy, you guys. I thank you. I appreciate you, queens. And I thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you next week.
Thanks so much. Hey. Bye.